Guyana's investment outreach attracts hundreds, and over 20,000 registered after 2 days of the Housetohouse registration. It's Monday, July 22, the start of a new week. These and other stories in today's news. President David Granger has said the Caribbean Court of Justice allows him to be an active participant in the selection process of a new GCOM chair. More in this report.
The CCJ made it clear that it is not altering the Constitution, it is interpreting the Constitution by suggesting that we move away from unilateralism, which is why the appointment of Justice Patterson was flawed, towards consensualism. This means that if the President of Guyana has a role to play in the selection of the chairman, the process will be faster and both sides would be happier at the end of it because we would have agreed.
President Granger was at the time being interviewed by Ariana Gordon, the Deputy Director of the Ministry of the Presidency's Public Information and Press Service Unit. The head of state emphasized that he is an active participant in the process.
I am not a passive participant. I'm not a passive observer to the process. I'm an active participant in the process. And this is what we've been trying to do, and this is what I've been trying to get the opposition to understand, that I cannot simply sit and wait for them to send the list, because this is what failed in the past. And this is what forced me to rely on the proviso in the Constitution, empowering me to appoint a chairman if the list submitted by the leader of the opposition was not in accordance with the Constitution.
Consensualism, the president stressed, is something the CCJ saw as important and wanted to ensure takes place.
I believe the ruling by the CCJ is quite useful, is quite functional, and it will lead to an early conclusion of this process. There is no way that the removal of the president's role in the crafting of the list, the hammering out of that list, could result in an outcome that is consensual, that is acceptable. It would be spurious if the opposition insists on exclusively crafting that list, of unilaterally crafting that list. The CCJ's ruling makes it impossible for that to occur.
The government, President Granger said, is acting correctly and in good faith despite what is being claimed by the opposition. More than 200 business leaders attended an investment outreach hosted by Guyana's High Commission in Trinidad and Tobago over the weekend. Paul McAdam joins us with the details.
Thank you, Nara. The investment conference at the Trinidad Hyatt Regency Hotel saw Prime Minister Moses Nagamootoo, Ministers Amna Ali, Raphael Trotman, and David Patterson, Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency Joseph Harmon, and Georgetown's Mayor Ubraj Narain on July 19, Friday evening, engaging key business holders. The Guyana team detailed investment opportunities here and outlined Guyana's Green State Development Strategy policy. Prime Minister Moses Nagamootoo said it was about taking government to the investors.
Today you're coming when new opportunities are on the horizon, and you should not be treated any less. In fact, you should be treated with greater kindness and compassion and rendered all the assistance, as you see on the board, tax concessions, exemptions, tax holidays, unrestricted repatriation of profits. All those things should be not an incentive for you to come to Guyana, but for those who have stayed the course as a tribute to your consistency that you have chosen Guyana as a destination for investment.
Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of Energy, the Honorable Franklin Can, urged his ministry's business stakeholders to take advantage of the opportunities in Guyana.
You have to understand the sentiments of both countries. You are a businessman, you're going for an opportunity. You have to respect local culture, you have to respect local idiosyncrasies, you have to understand the environment into which you operate. You cannot go in with a bulldozer. You have to understand clearly what you're going into. Trinidad has tremendous opportunities to offer, so does Guyana. Guyana is starting from ground zero, but they can go from ground zero to ground whatever in the shortest possible time.
Minister Khan also commended the coalition government for its push to train youths and develop its human resource capacity.
They will be the next level of leaders and professionals. And the earlier you train them and train them in the right way, the future of your country will be secured.
After the formal program, the investors engaged in one-on-one discussions with the Guyanese officials. Keen interest was expressed in investment in oil and gas, hospitality, manufacturing, agriculture, and other sectors. A 5-minute video highlighting Guyana's attractiveness as an investment destination was also presented. And I'll hand you back to Nara.
With only 2 days of house-to-house registration, the Guyana Elections Commission has reported that over 20,000 persons have participated in the process.
The process, which commenced on Saturday, July 20, covered communities across the 10 administrative regions. Public Relations Officer of the Guyana Elections Commission, Yolanda Ward, said the number represents citizens' receptiveness and understanding of the seriousness of the registration process.
Registration, as you know, is a legal requirement. It is facilitated under the National Registration Act, Chapter 1908, and therefore it is mandated that once you have you've attained the age of 14 years or older, that you should register to be part of the National Register of Registrants.
The Elections Commission has received information that some persons have been reluctant to participate in the process. These reports have emanated from communities in Region 6, 3 and some parts of Georgetown. The PRO is hopeful that with the passage of time, persons will come to understand the importance of the process.
House-to-house registration is a completely new registration exercise, and therefore, even though you were registered previously, you currently have an ID card, you are mandated to register again.
GCOM currently has 29 registration offices. The PRO said that all of the facilities are in operation mode for the exercise. To supplement the offices, the elections body also established 262 cluster offices across the country that are being manned by assistant registration officers. Field staff will be conducting the registration process from 8 hours to 1,700 hours on the weekends and holidays, and 1,500 hours to 1,900 hours on weekdays. The registration process continues until October. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
The Guyana Water Incorporated is providing technical expertise as sewage pipes are being laid on Battery Road, just southwest of the Guyana Pegasus Hotel. Traffic in that area is being diverted to facilitate the works.
Contractor within Collin & Sons construction company, Colin Reed, explains the scope of the works that have an impact on commuters within the area.
Rerouting the sewage system that passes through Pegasus Hotel. And this process will last about approximately 7 days.
The private works within the vicinity are contracted by Pegasus Hotel and entails the laying of 1 mile of sewage pipes. Because this is being done along Battery Road, commuters are asked to adhere to signs of traffic diversion. Commuters traveling north on Water Street will see a traffic sign at the Cowan Street intersection indicating that there is a detour 1,000 feet ahead. Traffic proceeding east on Battery Road is limited up to 4th Street, Kingston, where vehicles must turn around. Those wishing to travel west on Battery Road from High Street are advised to use White's Lane instead. No right turns from 4th Street onto Battery Road are allowed. At the completion of the sewage pipe works on Tuesday, July 23rd, Collin & Sons Construction Company will rebuild the road to its former state. This is expected to be done within 6 weeks.
Reporter from the construction works on Battery Road with videographer Anil Silal, Shaquille Bourne, for InfoHub.
Still to come, 160 youths successfully complete YEST training and Radio Bartica building its capacity. Details of these and more after the break.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Welcome back. Residents of Georgetown are playing their part in helping to keep the city clean. However, more can still be done to alleviate the drainage woes. We spoke with Chief Executive Officer of the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, Frederick Flats, recently.
From the NDI's perspective, we would like citizens to do their part. First, they should observe that a lot of works are going on. Some of the main things that citizens can do would be to desist from disposing their solid waste into the channels.
Flats made the call and residents have answered. In Tiger Bay, persons could be seen actively clearing their drains so that the water can flow.
We come with some clean out driver put the new rubs bin, and the truckers come. When they come for the morning, you have them in truck and show me.
George and a few other residents from the area were seen taking their time clearing the blockages, which was mostly bottles and plastic bags. The NDIA has been working along with the MNCC to help in cleaning and maintaining the primary drains and canals throughout the city. Due to the extensive work done by the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority on the major canals in Georgetown, the rate of drainage has increased exponentially. From the Water Street Coca with videographer Anil Silal, I am Nikosi Bruce for InfoHub.
Over the weekend, I traveled with a team to Bartica to meet several persons who were given the opportunity to audition to become radio broadcasters. The Office of the Prime Minister has collaborated with the National Communications Network to embark on a capacity-building exercise at Radio Bartica as it continues to ensure that the information gap between the hinterland and the coastland is bridged. Speaking to InfoHub, Regional Radio Manager Michelle Abraham Ali remarked that the exercise was aimed at familiarizing the trainees with the skills needed to become a broadcaster before commencing the formal training.
We want them to appreciate very early in the orientation that it requires two things: an active and working mind or brain, and of course a tool that we do this with is your voice, your familiarity with language, your knowledge of the area around you, your space, things happening in and around the country.
InfoHub spoke to some of the participants who shared what it was that sparked their interest in radio broadcasting.
I'm interested in becoming a broadcaster because it's like me giving back to my region, and I've always wanted to voice my opinions, and I have an interest in youths and getting them involved.
As a young person in my society and an ambassador, being highly recognized as well, I want to see effort placed into youth whereby our interests aren't just heard and said they're going to get done, but actually is put forward.
For me, literacy has been one of our problematic areas, looking at our results from the last assessment. So should I be a part of this? I can have a platform now to encourage young persons to improve their writing skills, their listening skills, their speaking skills.
The training, which will commence in a matter of weeks, will be conducted by Dr. Rovin Diodat. "22-year-old Aracia Stevens loves a challenge. As such, she enrolled at the Kuru Kuru Training Center to pursue the Motor Vehicle Repairs course, which forms part of the Youth Entrepreneurial Skills Training program offered at the center. Her hard work and enthusiasm bore fruit on Friday, as she was named the Best Motor Vehicle Repairs graduate following successful completion of the course.
I like challenges, and motor vehicle repairs is definitely a challenge. For the future, further my studies, become an entrepreneur, own my own workshop.
That was Aracia, one of the over 160 young Guyanese who have attained skills that will now enable them to be ready for the job market. Fellow graduates Sean Eastman and Fenton Williams, who also benefited from 10-month plan to pursue additional studies.
Well, I'm going to follow my studies at GTI, Guyana Technical Institute. It was good to me because I learned a lot about furniture making, and as my class teacher said, I have improved a lot.
I decided that I need to be something in life, so I come here to learn a trade. So from here, I plan to go to GTI to further my studies.
Senior Training Officer Ernestine Ramsey said the training exercise offered educational advancement to out-of-school, unskilled, and unemployed youths.
The objectives of the program are creating specialized manpower, to integrate young people into the labor market using entrepreneurial skills training, enable transition from training to production procedures, meet the professional needs which are created for a trained artisan for the job market, and give early school leavers an opportunity to continue their education.
In his address to the graduates, Minister of Social Cohesion Dr. George Norton outlined the benefits of the skills training program.
The YEST program encourages independence at various levels. It helped our young people to become more adaptable. It helped them to develop new interests, thereby broadening their perspectives on life itself.
The program, which commenced in July, runs for 10 months at the Kuru Kuru Training Center annually. That's all for today. Connect with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. Much more news is on our website, dpi.gov.gy, and pop over to Instagram for the latest photo updates at DPI Guyana. Your bridge and weather reports are up next. Goodbye for now.